Okay, today we are talking about how to overcome depression as a Christian. How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thought? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Okay, today we're talking about how to overcome depression as a Christian. Really, this works with any belief system that you have, or if you don't believe in anything, this will work with all of those. This documentary series is about, are we novice gods? Do we have divine DNA with us? Are we children of God? And if we are, that means that we have creative abilities, creation abilities within us that we can tap into. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can use those beliefs and those talents and those abilities and unlock those to really enjoy a wonderful life. And if you've got depression, hopefully this will help you out with what you're looking to get. Now, I chose this location for a reason. I mean, it looks pretty dead behind me, right? You got all these dead leaves, you got these twigs that are sticking up. I mean, it looks horrible. If you were to see this place in the summertime, oh, this is gorgeous. You have this canopy of these big, enormous trees with all the beautiful leaves that come down here. Now, the only difference between now and, the springtime and the summertime is the season. And then, it kind of turns into what we focus on, right? We just focus on the ugliness here. But yet, when everything's going right, we have just this abundance of beauty and nature that just is so reassuring. But I picked this because if you are depressed, this is kind of how life looks all the time. And I know this because I was in your shoes. I was in your shoes, but I wasn't in your shoes. Actually, before we start, I got to just explain one thing. If you have depression, I want you to seek medical attention. If you have actual, true depression, don't be embarrassed about it. It is a real thing. It is a medical condition, and there are wonderful, wonderful resources available for you to get out of that depression. So, very first, seek medical attention. Don't be afraid. There aren't those stigmas that they used to have, and now it is very accepted that, we understand it is a real, true medical condition. Now with that, I want to say that there are other options too. And the other option is that along with medical attention, along with the therapies that they will give and the medications that they will give, I believe that you can take matters into your own hands as far as changing your belief system, as far as changing your patterns of activity, that by doing these things, you will become more in charge of your life. You can get out of that victim mindset. And by getting out of the victim mindset and becoming who you truly are, a creator of your world, a creator of your reality, a creator of abundance around you, as you get into that space, you will gain more confidence. And as you gain more confidence, you will be able to get rid of a lot of that depression that you have. So again, seek medical attention. After you do that, or along with that, make sure that you also do some things deliberately, intentionally, and we'll go over 4 steps that you can do to really get focused on living intentionally and being in charge of your life. And I got these because for years and years, I wasn't depressed, but I was discouraged. And it was a weighty discouragement, and it overtook my life. And because of the things that I've experienced, I have found that there are just some wonderful, wonderful things. And anyway, I'll share some of that with you. And I'm the creator of the Feed Your Happy app. I wrote a book called The 7 Core Skills of Everyday Happiness. I learned a little bit about the darkness, and then I'm happy to share how to get to the light. But right now, let's talk about these 4 steps. Okay, these 4 steps that will help you overcome depression as a Christian. So the first step is that you need to change your identity. And I don't mean change your identity as a Christian. No, keep that. Keep everything good about yourself. But a lot of times you will identify with, I'm a failure, or I'm a slob, or I'm lazy, or I'm fat, or I'm a loser, or you'll come up with all of these things, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not eloquent enough, or, all of these things, these are identities. And we hold on to these things because we identify with them. And then as we identify with them, we actually end up creating more of that in our lives. So we end up spiraling down. I mean, you start out somewhat depressed and you get just even worse and worse and worse as you focus on these stories that we tell about ourselves and this identity that we have taken on. So any identity that you have that is negative, I want you to take it and I want you to put it to the side. First of all, I want you to start with this identity that you are a child of God, and that as such, you must therefore have some divine DNA within you. You must have the ability to create things. Well, let's start to use that. And we'll start to use that as we look at our identity, and what can you say about yourself? I am confident. Okay, even if you believe that you are totally not confident, or that you're shy, or that you're introverted, or you have these negative identities, you can shift that, because I bet you can find at least one instance in your life where you can say, yeah, I was brave there. I was courageous. And as you focus on that and really hone into that and say, that is my identity, I am that person. As you do that, as you grow that identity is going to be able to help you change all of the other things in your life, because that is so positive, it is so constructive, it is so powerful, and so are you. Now I want to explain this with a story. So years ago, I was sent on a filming expedition to Mongolia. Have you ever been to Mongolia? It was an amazing thing. Okay, now imagine, put yourself in my shoes. Imagine if you were sent there and you were sent to film, this was the assignment. You were sent to film these doctors that were restoring sight to the blind. Does that open your mind for possibilities of what you can film? I mean, can you imagine filming people as they have this surgery on their eyes and suddenly they can see again, and seeing the excitement in their lives as they can read stuff on the wall behind them, as they can identify family members that they haven't seen for a long time, that they have this joy of having life restored to them? That's what I imagined, and I imagined that these doctors, these American doctors, had some sort of some sort of new technology that was so new that they couldn't get FDA approval on it first, but they wanted to help people out. So they were going across the world and they were working with these disadvantaged people and helping them out. And well, you know what? When I got there, I found out that that wasn't the case at all. The amazing stuff did happen. People did suddenly be able to see. They could see family members. They could read writing behind on the wall. They could see pictures. They could see leaves and trees. And it was wonderful. But the way they got there was so simple. See, they had cataracts. And the American doctors were coming there to do cataract removal surgery. And the people had no idea that these cataracts had built up over their eyes to where everything started to get blurry and clouded and more until finally they became blind. But they didn't know they didn't have to live that way. That's how you and I get. Psychologically, spiritually, we get these cataracts on our eyes, on our minds, where we don't see things clearly anymore. We don't see what our true identity is, and we take on these other identities that are not serving us well, these identities that we're failures or fat or slobs or whatever negative thing you may have put into your life. But as you remove these cataracts, and in cataract removal surgery is so simple. In America, you get it done like you're getting your teeth done. You go in, you get out, boom, you're done. That's kind of what you can do with mental cataract removal surgery. Change your identity and reclaim your power. So actually step number 2 is to reclaim your power. You are a creator. You have the ability to create amazing things in your life. Today, I want you to start with happiness. Now, I've created a lot of resources that I am happy to share with you. I've created the Feed Your Happy app. I think you can find all this stuff in the show notes below. I've also got a book that can help you. There are other resources other people have created as you recognize that happiness is actually a skill. And as you get good at these skills, you will find that you can reclaim your power. You can create happiness on demand in any situation and wherever you find yourself. It is amazing. Once you start to get that creator power back within you, you realize that you can do these things, and suddenly that depression that's had you by the butt, suddenly you're going to be able to get free from that. You're going to be able to say, no, I am in charge of my life. I am the creator, and you're going to be able to not be the victim that you've probably been for so long. Now, step number 3 is I want you to be able to make consistent progress in something that's meaningful to you. Harvard, it's called the Harvard Progress Principle. For 15 years, they studied the happiest, the most successful people out there. And what they found was that they made consistent progress in meaningful work. And what that means is whatever is meaningful to you. So you get to choose what that is, but if you make consistent, regular progress. Now again, I have a resource for you if you want that, and if it's still available, look in the show notes. I have a free planner. It's called Align, the Align Purpose Pad I'm giving away, and it helps you have a morning routine so that you can get in alignment with who you truly are, who you want to be, and you will have that power to get out of the muck that's holding you down. I hope that makes sense to you, but really, reclaiming your power comes when you make this daily progress. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small, incremental progress, but it's progress. You're moving in the direction of your goals. You're moving with intention, the way that you would like to go. You are no longer floating along. You're no longer drifting. You are the captain of your soul. Now, the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to keep your commitments. Step number 4 to get rid of depression is to keep your commitments. And keep the commitments you make to yourself and the commitments you make to God. Now, if you commit to yourself that, and I would suggest you do, that you don't go to bed, eat at night until you have written 3 fortunate things that have happened to you. You do that, if you get in that habit of recognizing the good that is around you, you will be able to be more powerful. You will realize that you are the recipient of deliberate kindness. And you will realize that you can get out of that victim mindset, that you have control of your life, because there is a lot of good going on in your life. So if you're looking for how to overcome depression as a Christian, or a Buddhist, or a Jew, or a non-believer, or whatever you would classify yourself, I hope that you can follow some of those steps. I hope that you can see that you have divine DNA within you. You are a God in training. You have creative powers right now that you can use to even battle depression. Are you looking to make the world a better place? Visit me at scottwilhite.com and sign up to become an Impact Insider. I'll keep you updated on the topics and ideas that may help you become your best, true, full self.